Hi students, welcome to the lesson 1 of PHP and MySQL course by study9.com. This is the overview of the course content. So first we shall start by discussing about PHP, and since PHP is a server-side language, so before understanding PHP we need some prerequisites. So we shall see that what are those prerequisites. Then how to install PHP along with MySQL and Apache server. Next we shall discuss XAMPP, which is a open source stack package consisting all, that is PHP, MySQL and Apache. We shall also edit and execute our first PHP enabled page along with some advanced form handling features as well, and also about MySQL. So let's start by discussing about PHP. Its official name is PHP Hypertext Preprocessor. It's a recursive name and the language is a server-side scripting language. When you request a PHP page from the web browser through URL, the web server wakes up with the PHP parsing engine and runs the PHP code in the PHP parsing engine and returns the resulting output to your browser, which displays it to you. But don't bother too much about PHP parsing engine now, because in the next chapter we shall discuss about how PHP is parsed in more detail. So let's discuss about PHP page structure. Every PHP page should be saved with .php file extension, and it comprises plain text, HTML, CSS and JavaScript. According to the PHP manual, the goal of the language is to allow web developers to write dynamically generated pages quickly. So here are some common uses of PHP. PHP can perform system functions like create, open, read from files on your system, and also execute system commands, create directories and modify permissions. Next, it can gather data from forms like save the data to the file, send data via email, return manipulated data to the user, etc. It can access databases, set cookies, restrict access to sections of your website, and encrypt data, etc. But no need to be overwhelmed by so much new topics, because all of which are a part of what you will learn in this course. Next is what you should already know. So before continue, you should have a basic understanding about HTML, CSS and JavaScript. So if you want to study these subjects, then find the tutorial on our website study9.com and find the HTML, CSS, JavaScript page. Now to run PHP script, you have to install the web server, database that is MySQL and also PHP. The installation instructions are given here. Just visit the links. However, I must tell you that since PHP is free, so most web hosts offer PHP support. So if your server has activated support for PHP, you do not need to do anything. Just create some .php files, place them in your web directory, and the server will automatically parse them for you. You do not need to compile anything or install any extra tools. The next topic is XAMPP, which is a free, open source, cross-platform web server solution package consisting Apache HTTP server, MySQL database and interpreters for scripts written in Perl and PHP programming language. XAMPP is a complete package. So once you install XAMPP, you can directly start coding. In my point of view, XAMPP is the best and most easier way to get a local server on your personal machine and start working on PHP and MySQL applications. To install XAMPP for Windows, visit the link given. But students, if you can't understand the installation and configuration process of PHP, then don't worry, because in the next chapter, I shall vividly explain you with all the steps. It is for those who are already advanced programmers. Anyways, I am now moving to our first PHP code. Well, so this is our first PHP code. To run this program, go to XAMPP. I am opening XAMPP from my computer. Then htdocs. Create here a new folder. Give some name, for example PHP code. Go inside the folder. Create here a simple text editor like Notepad. Give the name example.php. Now write our code. Here in this notepad. I am just editing this code. Save it. Now go to control panel of XAMPP. Start Apache and MySQL database. Yes, and you are done. Handling XAMPP is that much simple. Now open any web browser like Mozilla Firefox from your computer system to run this program. In the browser, write localhost, that is our server name. Localhost, PHP code, we have kept our example.php file. So this is our output, that is hello world 2 times. Give some break inside the echo statement. Save it and refresh the page. So hello world is coming in 2 different lines. Now go back to our presentation. So come inside the header section. See, PHP starts with opening tag, then question mark. That is, this is the syntax of PHP. So every PHP script starts with tag, then question mark PHP and ends with corresponding question mark and end tag. Inside is the PHP code. Hash, then some text will be considered as a comment in PHP that will not be executed as part of the program. Its only purpose to be read by someone who is editing the code. Fine. Now coming to the next line, that is echo hello world. Echo is the built-in function to output the text on a web page. That is hello world here. Also notice that we have used the echo statement 2 times, and that is once in lowercase and once in uppercase. This is because of the fact that PHP is not case sensitive for all user-defined functions, classes and keywords. So in this example, the 2 echo statements are legal and equal. Now let's discuss about a more detailed program. I think all of you are now accustomed with PHP style of scripting, right? So now it's time to handle forms. The example here displays a simple HTML form with 2 input fields and a submit button. So let's run this code. This code consists of one HTML file and one PHP file. This is the HTML form given in front of you, and the name of the PHP file is welcome.php. This is the PHP code. So first copy the HTML file. Open XAMPP. Create a new text document, that is Notepad. Write some name like form and give .html extension. Save it as a HTML file with .html file extension. Open it with Notepad to edit the code. I'm just editing it. So from this HTML file, we are connecting the PHP file named welcome.php. Save it and close it. Also copy the PHP code. And write it inside the PHP file. Save both the files and close it. Now run this HTML file from your browser. So when the user fills this form, we shall open form.html from our server, that is localhost. So open the browser. This is the address of form.html, that is localhost/php code/form.html. So I am just filling the form data for name and email field. On submit, the form data is sent to the PHP file named welcome.php that we have just made for processing. Here the form data is sent via HTTP post method. I think all of you are aware about HTTP get and post method. So here $_post is a super global array in PHP that is associative in nature. That means the name and the email are the keys of the array and the contents of name and email are the values of those keys. Okay? We shall discuss about super globals in detail in later chapters. Fine, now go back to our next topic, that is MySQL. So what is MySQL? MySQL is a platform-independent database used in the web. MySQL is ideal for both small and large applications. It supports standard SQL, that is structured query language. Now I am telling the internal structure of the database. That is the data in MySQL stored in the form of tables. A table is basically the collection of related data and it consists of columns and rows. Here is an example of a company database with the tables employees, products, customers and orders. Now the point is why we should use MySQL with PHP. The reason is PHP is very much compatible with MySQL and PHP combined with MySQL are cross-platform. That means you can develop in Windows and serve on a Unix platform, and it is lightweight too. So students, this is only a preliminary introduction to MySQL and to let you know that why we should use MySQL as the database. In the next few chapters, we shall focus on how to make a connection and run queries using the PHP script as in the front end. Okay? So I hope you have enjoyed the video and got a basic understanding about PHP and MySQL. From the next chapter, we shall discuss these things in more detail along with more practical examples. So all the best and happy coding.